friends. This is Reflections, a program sponsored by Paducah Cooperative Ministry, where together we do God's work with human hands. I'm Karen Winkel. I pastor United Church of Paducah here in Paducah. I'm one of your co-hosts, and your other co-host is Gregory Waldrop, who is the pastor at Fountain Avenue United Methodist Church. Good to see you, Gregory.
Glad to be right here with you.
Marvelous.
And glad to be with you all today as well. We are thrilled to have with us one of our neighboring congregations and community service folks from the Salvation Army. We have Major Joyce Lance, one of the co-leaders here in the Salvation Army unit in Paducah. Welcome.
Thank you so much.
We're very glad you're here. And you're a major now. Tell us of that. What I think you came as a captain and now a major. So
yes, we have kind of gone up in rank while we're here in Paducah. We've met our 15 years of service, and that increased our rank.
That's great. That's great.
When you say we, you're involved in ministry with your husband, I believe.
That is correct. Mm-hmm. We're both majors and both ministers.
Marvelous.
That's great. Well, we in the Methodist tradition count you as cousins, neighbors, deep-hearted neighbors in the work. Tell us about your work these days.
Well, we appreciate that because we are kin throughout the years, and our founder being a Methodist minister. Yeah. Well, the things that are happening right now at the Salvation Army is that we have a collaboration with the Boys and Girls Club. So if you went to the 2990 Trimble Street address, you would see about 60 kids in the gym every afternoon, and that's been a real blessing this year for us. And I wanted everybody to know that that is working hand in hand together with another group, and I'm proud of that.
A great facility for it too.
It's an excellent facility. The community helped to build that a few years ago, and it was right now serving the exact purpose it was built for. Mm-hmm. We have a new employee there. His name is Joel Dickinson, and he is a SAMS person. He is a Salvation Army ministry specialist. So his focus is the ministry, and he's doing a very good job and creating different outreach programs, one being the Cup of Life.
Yeah.
And
information around to many folks about a young adult ministry, right? And a coffee shop kind of.
He's already had a couple of meetings, got really excited, and some new folks coming, and he's planning for the future just to help that ministry to grow.
Yeah, he has, besides the coffee shop setting, he has music that they provide with local folks, and he's one really nice and lively, engaged young adult himself. I've enjoyed seeing.
I've been amazed by what he's been able to accomplish in this short time that he's been there, but we're hoping for a long future for him to be able to minister to the people of Paducah in the name of Jesus for the Salvation Army. Mm-hmm.
Now, before we get started, one of the things that I think, well, we've already gotten started, but before we move into some of the things that are happening this month, my guess is that many people in the viewing audience don't know that when you hear Salvation Army, you think about all that is happening in and for the community, but the Salvation Army is a worshiping community.
Right.
It absolutely is. Mm-hmm. We are based on the beliefs similar to the Methodist Church. Mm-hmm. William Booth in 1865 established the Salvation Army. It was the Christian mission, but it is now known as the Salvation Army, and we've been around about 135 years. Mm-hmm. And so we do have a congregation, and our congregation averages around 50 on Sunday mornings, and we meet just as other churches do and minister to those that are hurting. Mm-hmm. One of the things that our founder decided and understood was that you cannot speak to a man about his soul until you fed him or made sure that he has a place to sleep or taking care of his physical needs, and then you could reach out to him and share the gospel, and he would be able to understand the love of Jesus.
Because it's that worshiping together that's really animating then all the things that you are offering to the community.
Yes,
and I think that's not well enough understood.
I believe that when you are a Christian, that your heart is set on others, because that is our command, to go out and preach the gospel to everyone. And one of the things that our founder understood as well was the need for others. And so when we started the church, it was not only the church that was started, but it was bringing in those that were suffering through social needs such as homelessness and hunger and prostitution, all kinds of things. And he would bring them into the church and help them to see that there was a better way to live their life, that they had God had a better plan for them.
Right. I think the old saying, you've fallen off the wagon when you're a person who has been alcohol addicted, returns to alcohol addiction, comes from the Salvation Army. It used to be they would take a wagon around, particularly, I think it's in New York City is where I understood it, but could have been anywhere, and take people that had difficult Saturday nights and put them on the wagon to go to church to dry out. And if you fall off the wagon, you're refusing the good help and health that the Salvation Army was trying to offer at that time.
Yes,
so.
And we still have that around our nation. We have adult rehabilitation centers. The closest one for us would be Nashville. But there are many, many people today that are addicted to alcohol or drugs. And so this is a rehab program where they learn a trade of either refinishing furniture or possibly reupholstering furniture, those kind of things. And then the Army helps them to get back into the workforce. And one of the things I love the most right now that they're doing is reconnecting families where maybe the father is in prison or the mother's in prison, and bringing the families back together for family times.
Marvelous. Well, talk to us a little bit about what's happening in and around Paducah this month. We're taping at the beginning of December, so I know even somebody who's not paying attention at all knows that December is a busy time for the Salvation Army.
Know the bells of the Salvation Army, don't they?
Yes, they do. It would not be Christmas without those bells out there. And Paducah is such a neat and unique community in the sense that all of our bell ringers are volunteers. This is the time of the year that we are most visible, of course, and so people recognize the Salvation Army by those bell ringers. And I just want them to know that this community provides those bell ringers through volunteers, whether it be a church group, a Sunday school group on its own. It could be Boy Scout troops. It can be just individuals who have a couple hours that they want to give. And by standing at the kettle and ringing the bell, they're providing opportunity for families to have food on their table during the holidays, toys and gifts for their children, and heat assistance, because we're into that time of the year where heat bills are very high. And so it really makes a difference in the lives of those that are in need in this community for folks to call the Salvation Army and volunteer to ring the bells.
How big a budget do you all operate here in Paducah?
Okay, we have about a $550,000 budget a year just in Paducah, and that's to be able to meet all the needs that we have seen in the past. The problem is we are seeing an increase. I think all of the agencies are seeing a large increase in need, and some of that especially is for food. That's a basic human need.
Oh, yeah.
To think that a child would go to sleep at night with an empty stomach is just almost unbelievable or unimaginable in the United States. It does.
Yeah.
So the Salvation Army, just even during a typical week, would be providing tangible resources to families in need.
Yes.
How would a family go about connecting with the Salvation Army to?
Well, we have a caseworker, Miss Sheila Downey. She's been with the Salvation Army here about 16, 17 years now.
Trustworthy.
Excellent
voice.
caseworker.
Yeah.
She gets involved with the people. She really digs deeper to be able to help them with more than just the surface needs. She wants to know, how are you spending your money? So maybe there might be something out there that they're not aware of that money's being wasted on that could be used for a bill or food. But she's not going to just say here. She's going to get to know that person, their true needs for their family, and then she's able to serve them with food and clothing and furniture and utility assistance, rent assistance, medication sometimes. So there's a lot of things that we do, and that's on a daily basis, Monday through Friday, at the social
Year-round.
service. Year round, that's correct.
Not just a Christmas service, that's a service that a whole host of folks have come to count on. And
It
depend on.
is.
Yeah. And well, the also, that's not in the Trimble Street facility, but at the facility on Broadway,
It
right?
is. It has been there for all these years, waiting for people to come through the door.
Right.
One of the things that we're doing, though, and in the very near future, is moving our social services and the thrift store to a new location that we've just purchased at 3100 Irvin Cobb Drive. Mr. Tommy Blair helped us with that purchase by giving us a very good deal, and now we're going to be maybe on a side of town where we're a little more visible, a little more accessible to those in need, and we can provide many more services in this building because it's much larger and there's room for growth.
It's one of Tommy Blair's old car dealerships, right?
It is, yes, sir.
Right. And it's on the bus line still.
Yes, we wanted to be sure of that when we were looking for a new building, and it's right there in front of Walmart or next door to Wendy's, we'll say. And I believe it's going to lead for the future some more programs that maybe the community hasn't even recognized as of yet. You know, we need to take some assessments of the needs and possibly increase services or programs, and we would have the opportunity to do that.
Great. That will be, we'll watch that unfold and develop as the season goes along. What's your timeline on that new building?
Well, being so busy during Christmas, because not only is the bell ringing going on, but the Angel Tree program, that's where, you know, children are adopted and we gather the gifts so that we can make sure that they have the gifts for Christmas Day. We have prison ministries going on right now, and League of Mercy, what the Salvation Army calls League of Mercy, visitation to nursing homes as well. So that's a pretty busy schedule for all of us right now. We'll begin right after the first of the year to make our move slowly, and we plan to open as our grand opening on Valentine's Day.
Great.
Beautiful.
How many children do you do with the Angel Tree?
Last year, it was over 1,000 children that we served. Right now, we have about the names of about 700. Now, we did a 2-week application process, and that was in collaboration with Family Services. And we've done this for about 3 or 4 years now. And that way, we kind of avoid any duplicating. We want to make sure everyone gets served. And so just making sure that there's enough to go around, then we have collaborated on taking the applications. We cut off the application process because we have to get all the names of the angels on the little paper angels and get the families adopted. But there are always emergencies, always, and which adds to the list. Yeah. Someone's house may burn, or perhaps there's been a death, or maybe, as sad as it is, maybe a father or mother has walked out and left the other with their children. Grandparents who are now becoming parents to their grandchildren. It's very different for us these days because we see different needs, but need will always be with us.
Mm-hmm. So how does that connecting happen between those children who are going to be relying on members of the community to help them have a Christmas? How does that connection happen?
Okay.
So the Salvation Army collects those names, and then how would someone in the community participate in that?
All right. That's why I say the application process. That means that the mother or father or the head of the household would come in and fill out an application for assistance, and we would get the information, especially of the children's ages and their sizes, write those up on paper angels and place them on trees. Now, we have angel trees at both of our Walmarts, one at Cracker Barrel this year for the first time, one at U.S. Bank, and I believe one at Energy Fitness. And so those paper angels are hung on the tree. Someone then in the community can go by and pick up an angel and make that their special child for the Christmas season. Purchase the clothes sizes and shoe sizes that are there for them if they would like to provide clothing. And we do not put down toys. We let them make their own decision on what toys are age appropriate and what they would like to buy for that child.
But you have a first name and an age and sizes.
We do.
On that angel.
We do. And if someone would like to call and ask about a specific maybe want the child has, then we can connect with that family and see if there's something that's, just something they want for sure for Christmas, and get back with those that have adopted and let them be able to do that.
And is it still the case that people bring those gifts to a central place?
Yes.
And then the families come to that place and pick it up?
Yes. Now, you can either take those gifts back to the location where you adopted your angel, and we'll go around and pick them up. Or you can bring them to the 1128 Broadway location, and we'll take them from there to our distribution center. And there's going to come a day after the 15th, which is our deadline, that if you have for some reason missed the 15th with your gifts, please bring them to 3100 Irvin Cobb Drive, our new facility, because we're going to be distributing from that building this year to make people in the community a little more aware of where we're going to be.
I'm thinking about the infrastructure that's needed to make all that happen. That's no small task to collect all that information, get that out into the community, and then match all these gifts with the intended recipients. You need a fair amount of lead time all the way around to make that happen.
We hang the angels on the tree like a day before Thanksgiving, and then from that point on, it is we are collecting those gifts and getting them prepared. We'll need a lot of volunteers to help make that happen. And so I asked them to call Lisa at 366-4089. She's going to coordinate the angel tree for us. She's done this for 3 years now, and I've taken over the bell ringing coordinating. So it has to be kind of spread out. The work does during this time for us, but we would never be able to have enough help if it were not for volunteers.
I love I've been a part of that distribution at times because the Salvation Army Help Side has a board that's independent from the congregation itself, and the board includes people from across the community and across the faith communities. Mm-hmm. It is interfaith that the board was when I was on it, and oftentimes the board are part of the volunteers on this distribution day, as well as a whole lot of other folks as well. Yes. It really is a lovely site and a lovely work, important work.
It is, and I think too that if you ever volunteer once and see how it all operates and see the joy on the faces of those who are coming there to pick up their gifts and know that they're going to have something for their children and not, be able to provide for their family, but know that someone cared enough to help them make sure their child's going to be happy on Christmas morning. It's an amazing thing. Yeah. It really is. And Christmas is all about giving. It's not about taking or wanting, it's about giving. And this is an opportunity to give.
Yeah. I love the discipline, the habit of the bell ringing. The founder of Methodism, and we are deeply connected, John Wesley used to say, everybody ought to beg for somebody else every so often, just as a spiritual discipline. And I've always thought that the ringing of the bells was sort of a way the Salvation Army's helped us plead the case and the cause for people that need things in beautiful ways. And I think it's a lovely spiritual discipline, and it's still open. You've got places, I'm sure, for volunteers to ring the bells as well.
Certainly do. Lots of places that are still open. We've already come through about 16 days of bell ringing, and there have been days when some of those spots were empty, and that breaks my heart because that says we will not be able to help as many people as we want to or need to, or maybe we'll not be able to help them to the extent that they truly need the help. So for every vacant spot, that means that someone may get left out. So I encourage everyone to call, and they can call my personal number, 201-0365, and I will schedule them in.
And how long would a shift be, a bell ringing shift?
Well, it can range from 2 hours to 4, 6, 8. We are out there from 10 a.m. till 8 p.m. And so it's truly up to you. Would like for everyone to take at least 2 hours. And we try to do that on the even hours. And the reason we do that is just to keep the runners going at the same pace around to take out the kettles and to pick them up. And that makes it just handier for us.
And how many locations are those ringers?
Well, right now we have 9 locations. There have been years that we had 10, but this year we have 9. And those are at the Walmarts, Kmart, the main mall entrance, JCPenney's, Sam's, and Park Avenue Kroger from time to time.
Well, it's a broad program. Anything else about we know the Salvation Army emergency disaster kind of response. Anything you want to report to us about that?
Well, you know, we've had a lot of disasters in our nation over the last few years. But I think, too, that natural disasters happen right here at home. You know, a home burning or train wreck or whatever it may be. And my husband is the disaster coordinator for that. We have a canteen, what the Army calls a canteen. It's a mobile kitchen. And so whenever there are disasters, we're able to take that canteen and supply the victims along with those who are rescue workers or maybe other volunteers, food and drink, and a place to come in and get warm if necessary.
Some people may recognize that canteen from the barbecue on the river where you collaborate with the firefighters to...
That may be their knowledge of the canteen, is that it's there always on barbecue on the river. A lot of meat gets chopped in that little kitchen, portable kitchen. The firemen are just wonderful to the Salvation Army by taking their time to cook for us and help us to raise some money that way.
Apart from involvement in the Army's efforts in December, for those who are viewing today, in what ways might someone be involved in the Salvation Army's ministries other times during the year?
Okay. We again encourage people to just come and volunteer. We have, of course, as I said, the gymnasium with all the children. You might be an educator, you might be someone who has a special talent. You can teach the children. Craft person, that's correct.
Artist.
And just a few hours of your time, might make a real difference in those children's lives. And so they're always looking for someone to come in and provide a new program or some educational benefit for the children. The other thing is that the Salvation Army, as we say, we have the disaster canteen, and in times of disaster, we have sent from this community 10 individuals down to the Katrina area whenever all that was damaged and needing much help down there. So 10 people from this community went from the Salvation Army down there. So, be ready for a disaster and be available and just let us know, and we will be able to find a way that you can serve in those disaster areas. Other things is just by donations. You might have a closet full of good clothes, but hopefully you've lost weight and you can't wear them anymore. We don't want to say maybe you've gained weight, but that happens. So just bringing your good, usable items to the Salvation Army. One of the things I want to truly express is that we serve those that are in need, whether it be veterans, whether it be victims of disaster, whether it be someone who is a single parent and not enough money coming into the family, the elderly, those victims of AIDS, whatever it may be. The Salvation Army does not discriminate. We're there to help each and every one of those. And we want to continue to do that. We've done that for years and years, and we continue to do that on a daily basis. So,
And the community counts on you for all of that, I'll tell you.
well, we appreciate them giving to us and making it possible for us to be able to do that. You know, whenever someone sends in a bed, that means that a child maybe that slept on the floor can have a bed. Whenever parents are searching for clothes or shoes for their children, we had a situation where Miss Sheila, who we talked about, our caseworker, had a mother and a little boy come in, and the mother was just so concerned because they had no food in their house, and she wanted some food, and that was her purpose of being there. But Miss Sheila looked down and saw the little boy's shoes, and they were so holey and worn and just almost off his feet. And she asked the mother, "What about a pair of shoes for your son?" And the mother said, "Oh, we only came for food." But Miss Sheila was able to find him a pair of shoes. And just to see his face, just to know that child had on shoes that his feet would stay dry and warm. What a blessing.
Do you all pick up the larger items from homes, beds,
We do.
appliances,
We
that sort
do.
of thing?
It must be furniture or larger appliances, because we all know that gas prices have gotten so high and insurances rose so much that that's the only thing we're able to do. But we take donations at our door, Monday through Saturday from 8 a.m. until 4 p.m. And it all goes to be able to serve those in this community. One of the things that I hope people will understand is that when items are given to us, people can come that are in need. Miss Sheila will give them a voucher, and they can go out there and shop for the clothing that they like, their size, and then that's all free to them. The excess that we have then goes out into our thrift store, where it is sold at a reasonable price so that people who are on low income and just too proud to ask for help can have things to provide for their family. And then in addition to that, the income from that then is given right back into the community so that social services can be provided for rents and utilities and medications. So the Army has a well-rounded program, and it is to meet the human need at the point of need. And I just want the community to realize that that's what we've done for over 100 years, and that's what we plan to do for the next 100 years.
Yeah.
Beautiful, and just a wonderful way to end. We want to thank you so much, Major Joyce Lance, for coming and sharing about the important and vital ministries of the Salvation Army. Gregory, good to be with you
as
again.
well.
And thank you for joining us here on Reflections, where together we endeavor to do God's work with human hands. Shalom.
Shalom.